Hi guys, thanks so much for chatting with me today.
Right.
I got a sneak peek at the new season and I loved it. It was just as funny and heartwarming and all the rest as the first season, so I'm really excited to see the rest.
Great.
I suppose with a lot of things now, there might have been a TV show first and then you hear that there's going to be a movie, but obviously this was the other way around. So were you kind of nervous or apprehensive when you heard it was going to be made into a TV show that maybe it would ruin the film?
Less nervous, more just curious of how they're going to go about doing it. And I quite liked Peter's approach to just make it a whole new thing.
Yeah.
And like the first 15 minutes of Ep1, season 1, is quite like the start of the film as well. And I think that was the bit I wasn't too sure about, but looking back, and I think it was a good way to kind of clean the slate and just have this whole new
and not assume that everyone that was watching the series had seen the film, because a lot of people hadn't, so you didn't need to introduce those characters again. It's two young lads as well causing havoc, like you can tell stories about that forever, so I wasn't really worried about him not going to be able to come up with good stories and stuff. So then when we read the scripts, we definitely felt comfortable and excited, very excited.
Yeah, absolutely, and it clearly was a big hit, and internationally as well it's been really well received. So were you surprised that kind of the Irishisms translated so well for people and that they appreciated it all over the world?
Yeah, definitely. I've even heard like in China people are watching. I've got a few messages from
you get message requests on Instagram from like mad places.
Yeah, Beijing and stuff. It's like, really?
Yeah.
Well, if a show's good, a show's good.
That's it, yeah. I suppose it translates, I suppose, no matter what. So I suppose in its essence, or when people first see it, they'll assume it's just about two cheeky lads, troublemakers. But in a lot of episodes, we see that there's actually a lot of heart and a lot of kind of, they're in touch with their feelings actually a lot. So do you think that's good for young lads to see that it's okay to be a bit sappy with your lad friends?
Yeah, I think that's important to see,
There's definitely a moment kind of in next season where I think the two lads realise they'd never really said like, I love you, boy. It's kind of they realise, why is that so tough to say?
Yeah.
But they do, and it's just kind of how they show that is different.
Everyone should be telling their friends they love them.
Exactly.
Absolutely, yeah. And I think we kind of see that as well in the first season. One of my favourite scenes was the graveyard scene. So it's just very touching, but it's also kind of funny because it's just like they're singing and they all join in and things. So I'd love to know what that was like to film.
Definitely tough for a jock to be doing that and stuff like that, so I think it's just staying in that headspace and stuff.
And then seeing the two girls and myself join in with him then is kind of, that's what the heartwarming thing is.
With or without you, I can't live. With or without you. And you give yourself away. And you give yourself away. And you give, and you give, and you give yourself away. With or without you.
I'd love to know if you see yourselves in the characters at all, or if you were at all like that in school. Were you troublemakers?
Messers. I mean, I think the two lads, they're harmless. They'd never go out of their way to hurt anyone, which I'd like to think we'd be the same. But they definitely might have got into a spot of bother every now and again. But
yeah.
Did you find yourself in the principal's office at all?
I did once. But
oh really?
Yeah, occasionally, but yeah. No, I had a great time in school and all my friends and stuff. But yeah, we would be getting up to a bit of messing and stuff like that. But yeah.
Never expelled then, or nearly expelled
Never
like the lads
expelled.
then?
Suspended.
Oh, good. Suspended, really?
Yeah.
Can I ask what you did? Or
it was actually a pretty harmless thing to do. It was just the class photos. Just got into every single one for the whole year and dressed up as different people with my friend, and then the photographer had to come back and redo them all.
I like that.
I told my
very
mom she didn't even like.
That's not that bad.
It's not bad, like, so no one could really be angry at me. Just ended up going down to town and getting glory jeans with my friend. So
that's a very
nice
Connor and Jock
Oreo
thing to do,
milkshake,
though. I think it's kind of innocent but cheeky. The lads have a very distinctive style, and I suppose it comes from copying their friends or each other. Did you guys have distinctive styles when you were teens, and was it because you were copying people, or were you an emo or a hipster?
Or
or
a few faces.
That's I was going to say. Yeah, it takes you. It's a funny age. I think that's why people relate to the characters so well. Because just when you are like 13 through to 17 or more, it's just you're trying to figure out who you are.
But like the weird maddest clothes I was wearing was when I went when I moved over to London. When I came back, I was wearing some mad stuff. But I was older. I was old enough to know better at that point. But yeah, I wore some mad stuff.
Yeah, your mum might be saying, "What are you doing wearing that?" And then you'd have to change your style again. And
Yeah.
so,
We go through all the phases, definitely.
I suppose the show really captures that teen awkwardness. So I'd love to know kind of about some awkward teenage moments for you guys. So can you both describe your first kiss for me in like 3 words?
I think it was probably a bit awkward. I don't know. I think I was like, I don't know.
yeah,
12 or
unromantic.
13. Yeah, unromantic. But it was great technique. So
Yeah.
Okay, so
yeah,
awkward but great.
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah.
I don't know,
Memorable
I
or
can't
no?
I tried to forget it, but now it's in my head again.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's usually like against a wall.
Yeah. Yeah.
Shift an alley or something.
Who was your kind of standout celeb crush then when you were kind of 15, 16? Can you remember?
I had a big one on after I saw Spider-Man.
No, I thought you liked
Ellie Goulding.
Ellie Goulding.
I did have a big thing for Ellie Goulding as well, yeah. I was younger, and Emma Stone as well. After I saw that Spider-Man with Andrew Garfield, I remember I was like, developed feelings for her, yeah.
Yeah, I was Hermione. Hermione was a big one for me.
They're both very normal, not
Yeah.
embarrassing crushes
I
at all.
did though. I did when I was younger. When I was a kid, when I was very young. My mum would ask me like, "Who was I going to marry?" When I was a kid, joking, and I'd always say Cruella de Vil.
Wow,
That's a weird one
that's
there
an
for you.
interesting one.
But I was
Okay.
very young. But I was like, "Yeah, marry Cruella de Vil."
Okay, finally, my last question is going to be, what advice would you give to your teenage selves if you could?
I always think this. I wouldn't give any advice because I think if you give someone advice on
They might
something,
have changed.
they try and change it. Like I remember, like you'd be younger going for auditions, and I'd be like, "Do you have any advice?" And people would give it to you, and then you start answering things in a way that you think they want to hear, and then everyone wants to just see you mess up and see how you are for yourself. So I wouldn't give myself any, to be honest.
Yeah, wouldn't give any to myself, but I suppose if a younger person asked me, I'd say just be nice to people and they'll be nice to you. Be sound. That helps a lot.